watching Quad Cities Live.
The Alternating Currents Festival is a place where big ideas take center stage. And this year, the Idea Factory is back with a series of thought-provoking panel discussions designed to spark curiosity, challenge perspectives, and, of course, connect our community in new ways. Joining us now with what to expect at this year's festival is Andrea Olson. Andrea, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much for being here today. So I was reading all about it. Now, the Idea Factory, I knew these panel discussions had been going on for some time. So this specifically, you started hosting these panel discussions back in 2019, correct?
Yes,
so
we did.
What kind of sparked the initiative, the desire to do that?
You know, we felt like there was a need for a platform for really diving into some of the talent and kind of microcultures that exist in the community. And there was really no format to do that. And we thought that, you know, a panel format, a discussion format, something that would give exposure to some of these new ideas and things that people are doing in the community was really critical to happen.
Yeah. So is that where the partnership with Alternating Currents came about? I mean, how did that evolve, and why did you feel like this type of festival was a really great thing to have this, you know, panel discussion type of thing be involved in?
Yeah, we felt this was a perfect fit. I mean, we reached out to the Alternating Currents team and said, hey, what about this kind of humanities type of element, right?
Yes.
You have music, you have comedy, you have film, but what about talking about different cultures and talking about different elements of people that have talent and knowledge in areas that we haven't had a chance to really explore? And so they said yes, and we've been partners with them ever since.
Yeah, it just somehow just naturally fits. It's like it's meant to be, and that kind of takes me to my next point. So this is all a nonprofit. So what we're speaking about right now, and as you spoke about, you know, really devoted to celebrating new ideas, emerging voices. How do you balance all of that, which is so important, with the entertainment aspect, which is like we're doing this important work, but we're having fun at the same time?
Well, I mean, education has to have an element of entertainment, right? I mean, that's the way that you really engage with it. That's the way that you get questions and dialogue going, and that's the way you remember new things. So we always try to have an interactive element in everything we do, and we really want to make sure that the audience is participating, and it's much more of a discussion and kind of a curiosity-based thing rather than kind of a one-way dialogue.
Yeah, and yeah, it's not like somebody is just presenting to you.
Yeah, I mean, how boring is that?
Well, you know, speaking of, because you you organize really cool events here in the Quad Cities that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. If you didn't know that Andrea had a major hand in that, the TEDx events here in the Quad Cities that are incredibly popular. So we've got some photos on the screen of what that looks like, but how does that experience of yours kind of complement what you're doing here throughout Alternating Currents?
Yeah, so TEDx is, you know, our event is an officially licensed event. So TED has a lot of rules that you have to follow.
Sure.
You can't have panels, you can't have fireside chats, you can't have debates. It's just a single person on stage doing a one-directional presentation.
Yeah.
So we kind of took the strengths of that program and said, you know, what are the requirements to have a great idea, a unique topic, something that is going to engage the audience and get things going and get people really connected. And then we really just applied that methodology to what we do with Idea Factory.
Yeah.
And we just expanded it because we don't have the restrictions that TED puts upon us.
Okay, well, I want to talk a little bit more about the topics. So when you are selecting topics, kind of what criteria do you look at to go, this is something that's going to be not only very thought-provoking for people, but also it's going to draw people in and make them want to talk about it as well?
Right, right. It's not something that we want to be an infomercial, right? It has to be something that, does the mainstream have missing knowledge about this? Is there some kind of insider intel that, you know, experts could share and talk about? And then two, is it entertaining and educational, right? It has to have both of those components. And then what talent do we have in the community, in the region, that we can draw from to speak to these ideas? So we try to use those three criteria.
And and I think you hit the nail on the head with all of them. I mean, looking, you know, at what you have planned for Saturday, it's going to be a lot of fun. But quickly, I want to talk more about audience participation, because once again, there's a dialogue here. So how important is it to have folks that are willing to really participate?
Oh, I think it's critical. I mean, we want people coming that have curiosity on a topic, right? We want people that are going to come with questions. We've talked about a lot of different things, sometimes even sensitive topics, that we've had audiences ask genuine questions they feel like they probably couldn't have asked in a different format.
Really, yeah.
Right? There's a different setting that they couldn't have done that. So we really want it to be welcoming. We want you to bring that curiosity, and don't hesitate to ask those questions. And honestly, in certain cases, sometimes free samples is always a benefit too. So,
yeah.
For the beer and the cocktail folks.
Well, exactly. And so quickly, I just kind of wanted to go over what those topics are going to be, and I've got them here on my screen. But the first one is the smoke show.
Yes.
So that is about tobacco. It's about the world of cigars, and I know we have some experts here in the Quad Cities.
Yes,
that can
we
speak
do.
To that.
Yes, we do. The folks from the drawing room are coming over. They're going to have all different types of cigars, talking about the history of cigars, how they're made, how to pair them with different drinks and food, how to really appreciate it, how to make a good selection in a cigar, and a little bit about the cigar culture. So it's something that maybe you've, of course, heard of cigars, but you really don't know enough to dive in.
Yeah. So we've got all three of them on the screen right now. So that's at 11 a.m. on Saturday at the Last Picture House. 1 p.m. is about beer. So it's a deep pour. I like how you put that into beer's roots and styles and the QC brewing boom. We know craft breweries are just like such a big deal here in the Quad Cities. So we know we've got experts when it comes to that. And then at 4:30 p.m., Whiskey, Rye, and Rivers, the Quad Cities whiskey story.
Yes.
So all really fun topics that I feel are really in keeping with the mood that, you know, will be already happening because of the music and the art and everything going on.
Exactly, exactly. We wanted to fit in perfectly and really just complement what Alternating Currents is about, and bring a little bit, as Tim said, you know, the little South by Southwest kind of flavor. And a lot of that is going to be these types of panels and programs.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. So you have those 3 opportunities coming up in just a couple of days. On Saturday, of course, make sure that you download the app, because that is what's going to make sure that you don't miss anything like that. Andrea, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It was a great time.
It should be a fabulous weekend. And still to come on QCL, growing our financial knowledge with some advice from an expert. Our financial moment with Heidi is coming up next.